I knew, of course, and could see that Obama was a Bush upload, or sort of a corporate installation art exhibit. Dickie DeLoach, an underling of J. Edgar Hoover, I seem to remember reading somewhere, said that after King was gone, they needed to find a black leader who was less inimical to their interests. And Obama seemed to be clearly playing that role. I learned that he was funded by Jeff, and as Clinton was. So he seemed to be thinking about rejecting um, Queerbait as he was walking down the halls to his inauguration. Installation, Victorious and Pussy Ball, the exemplar. And it didn't stop me from wishing that wasn't true. I used to say he should have forgotten about bailing out the people who looted the Federal Reserve, the Detroit, you know, bank heist, and concentrated on building public transportation so that we can have echo cities. Of course, that wasn't going to happen, but you know, he nobody expected anything from him really. I mean, he held over Robert Gates, who was implicated. Charge him. They wanted to charge him with a crime in Iran-Contra, which was about mining Nicaraguan harbors. Nobody expects anything from him. I mean, he was one of the people who mined the investigation into AIDS so that detective work was called a federal crime. It was a federal crime to report that AIDS was an organized attack because of the mining harbors mentality of Obama. It's nobody expects anything from somebody like that. I mean, I don't see why anybody should. It's just they encrypted COVID-19 for the 19-year-old girl. It's just arranged. But hidden transcripts work miracles in matters like these. I mean, you would you once you realize that Danny Ortega was sort of a Catholic installation himself, who kept absolutely quiet about the evidence that there was a fundamentalist tripartite behind the money in Iran Contra. You could see it. There was a fundamentalist tripartite who were in on the AIDS attack. Danny Ortega was just like, well, God bless them. He was hardcore parochial. The Green Party is, a hidden transcript in that way. I mean, Putin never, Gorbachev never spoke out against Gail Burstyn. It was an agreement by these buzzards, and Obama just mined the harbors to make sure that nobody could say anything. He's still at it. I mean, it's preposterous. Cory Booker was saying something about inequitous sentencing and cocaine. They had cocaine present as a stage prop one night when I was trying to, engage in virtually hand-to-hand detective work against the people who had organized the Blitz in the city of Pittsburgh. They used me for two Holocaust simulation experiments. Two of them. They gassed me in a place called Kansas State when I was a child, and then they took me up to Mount Desert Island. It's obvious to me. I mean, Obama's some kind of weird buzzard. It's not obvious to him. But it's obvious to me where the moral issue is. I mean, you can't just commit a genocide program in cold blood and just beat a child into submission and use them as a you know something to light on fire. And they just this is all part of the process of just exterminating school children. And Obama's in this weird position where he just puts up a sign that says, "I'm a lackey and a bot, but we don't ask me what to do." You know, What do I think we should do? I mean, it's obvious that the evidence is in the hands of the attackers, and they're using it to make good on the threats that they've issued. That shouldn't be the case. Law enforcement officers shouldn't stand aside and allow organized militias to just massacre children in a school. You know, as a cryptological study in their word salad wizardry. You know, it's all of it is Trumpetonianism of some sort. But nobody expects anything from those people. You know, I mean, people just feel that we're on the verge of having our luck run out as a society. You know, we were very lucky to have JFK as the leader, even for the short time that we had him. You know, we don't. I think we're very lucky that Biden managed to get into office instead of that horrid Trump, but that doesn't mean he's competent with investigating a um, fascist system that you can't even name because some weird idea they call God God didn't win Obama. It's, but Obama held over Gates, who was, all forgiveness for the mining of Nicaraguan harbors and the giving of Exocet missiles. I mean, he shouldn't have just gotten off with doing something like that. You know, and it's obvious that he tortured me and covered for how it was tortured because of that Hitler Reagan. You know, he wanted to be goody two shoes, the black man loyalist, and perceived to get the dividends from the Republican vote for going along with something horrid and mad. It's just not a very courageous person. I mean, I don't like having to deal with this, but they put my name on something when they tortured me as a child, and they're using cyber attacks to terrorize me into conforming, because they'll mine the Nicaraguan harbors of my doorstep if I don't, you know. But I mean, as I say, hidden transcripts are pretty eerie when you come to think of it, because the idea that I'm a victim of a metaphor for mining Nicaraguan harbors falls apart when you realize that Ortega fellow never said nothing about what Peter Schiff was doing with Neva Corporation, the museum thieves. People working with Schulman at Carnegie Mellon University were making donations to the Fair Minority Liberation Front. It was Green Party stuff by the Trumpy Toon Putinese. It's a union that's fallen into place like an iron claw, so to speak. And if you want to know what happened to Duval, to Uvalde, compare the lyrics of Margaret Atwood's Cat's Eye. I mean, the open Cat's Eye chapter titles to the lyrics of King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King. She's one of the perpetrators of this sick business. She's no hero. I call these people who are using organized prostitution on a grade school child who they kidnapped and tortured heroic or heroines. They just have, lubed broomsticks because of their tenure in university dialectical hybrid warfare. It's nothing to admire. It's women go around pimping themselves because they voted Obama. It's pathetic lack of concepts regarding what has happened. Yeah. And then they say, oh, well, you don't forgive. What is there to forgive? You mining Nicaraguan harbors and selling bombs through Israel, the Ayatollahs, so they could destroy Marine barracks in Lebanon and raise money for some nut with a gap tooth who doesn't like the deaf children, who Roberto Clemente died trying to save from an earthquake. Now look what they've done. Texas, forget about it. Seattle doesn't have charming women. They don't have knowledgeable lefties. They have entrapment operators. Who would mistake what happened when I was being entrapped for anything but entrapment? They had some stage props. And they evidently raised money for museum heisters. Obama was probably at the paper shredder because of all of the legal documents he had bearing the signature of John Schulman. It's I have absolutely no doubt Obama was in on that business with Rosa.